Hello, peopleses of the internet. Some brain dribbles of mine on things I'm wrapped up in and thinking about. Timestamps should be below to section skip between the brain dribbles as needed. To help churn this fellow out, going to skip the rest of the avatar rendering, so away we go. First bit is the tinkering with cartoons for this channel in the form of Final Fantasy XIV Kibbles. That was born from me finally succeeding on my saving throw versus illusions to look away from World of Warcraft and MMO land last summer and did prompt some soul searching. Like a fairly hefty amount of others going by Activision Blizzard earnings report, plenty of peeps finally experiencing other pastures. So I figured I played every Final Fantasy aside from 11, 12, and some of the spin-offs, so why not give 14 a shot as it's come a long way from the horrid first launch and is winning awards all over the place nowadays. Actually getting the account and game running after giving Square Enix my money was a travesty, as their account system is very lacking, to be generous. But after that ordeal was done, 14 has been nothing but joy. Even the dated Realm Reborn content was fine to me, but mostly just the respect it has for my time. So after finally finishing the main story and that, I had a bunch of random ideas scribbled down and decided to make some cheesy cartoons to go along with it. Not having the nonsense hurdles and time sinks Blizzard insisted on putting in your path at every single turn when you want to do something is just amazing. My thinking used to be, well, I have over 15 years of time and sub money invested in this, so I can't leave now. Which really should not be a thing as so much as, am I having fun with this product still? If they expect you to spend hours farming something, considering those could be hours spent in Elden Ring, Civilization 6, firing up some old Nintendo games or their newer remakes, even if you stray away from video games, you may have a backlog of movies and shows to catch up on. So the lesson learned for me on that one is your time is limited on this planet. Don't be a victim to sunk cost fallacy. Get what you want out of something, then move along to other things, since there's no shortage of stuff out there for us to spend our time budget on. Like, is it worth spending hours to possibly increase your progress by 1% when you could swap those hours to something else and progress that 90% instead? Food for thought. Second bit is, Facebook is enraging. While trying this art stuff out, naturally one needs to use social media for leverage these days. If you don't, you're missing out on pools of billions of people, which isn't going to help spread your content across the interwebs. Especially since it's free to use. But man, those companies really drive home how much of a soulless mega corporation they are at times. From my experience, I naturally had a personal account set up to manage my art page there. Then I recently started getting alerts that my personal account is going to be closed because they don't like a personal account that was made for managing a business page and they are doing away with them. So I would need to get a new personal account so it would be set up differently. You would think logically there should just be a migrate option to scoot you from the discontinued platform to the new one. After all, it is a giant company with tons of money and they essentially control all the infrastructure in question. Of course, nothing is clear cut on this. Bloviated documents that say a lot of stuff but ultimately mean nothing. Ultimately, for all the nonsense and misdirection, turns out you just have to delete your account and everything about it. No migration option, because why would a giant soulless mega corporation care to spend money for their users' experience for a problem the company itself created? In the meantime, I still need to tinker with my art page there, even if Facebook isn't high on my priority list. So I have to get another Facebook account working to become the admin while the first falls off. This has to be done, otherwise, without an admin for the art page, then as you can imagine means the page would effectively be dead. So I get the new account up and running while looking over things on this new format they insisted I had to use. I see a message essentially saying then, you have 30 days to submit personal stuff if you intend to use ads ever. If you don't, then you can never ever do it in the future point in time. Basically, do it now or you can never do it and you can't appeal it because they don't care. Soulless Corporation strong-arm tactic. Apparently they just can't get enough of a person's personal data, so they don't even want you thinking about backing out. But since I do want to try and do more with my art, and that for better or worse includes potentially advertising, and because social media is such a large part of business now, doesn't really leave one with much choice. So with that pain in the grundle done, finally can try to link this new account to the art page as an admin. So I jump through other hoops like a circus animal, like the page, follow the page, etc. Only there is no option to add my new account to the art page as an admin. Tried using my email address instead of name, without firewalls, mobile app, rebooting, clear caching cookies, unfollowing, refollowing, trying other browsers, the works. But nothing. My Wade Monroe or email address never shows up as an option. Days later, after random attempts here and there, I try it with variations of capital versus lowercase Wade Monroe, and lo and behold, capitalization apparently matters, which is just some of the stupidest stuff I've ever seen. Imagine how much confusion any other part of the internet would have if capital letters came into the picture. Like if you sent the email to Bob at email, was a different person than Bob at email with a capital letter, or a capital Amazon.com was a scammer site while Amazon.com with a lowercase was legit. So with all that frustration done, I can finally delete my first account. But then I can't reuse anything because there's a 30-day safety net before it falls off. So I set a reminder after 30 days to go back in and recreate the original personal account. After the 30 days are up, I start the setup, only this time they want yet more of my personal info in a picture. Which again, disgusting as it is, love it or hate it, you need that social media door open, so I reluctantly give it to them. Then they instantly say it has to be reviewed before I can use it, and within like minutes they say it's perma-banned, no specific reason, with a link to a useless throwaway page with dozens of possible causes. For good measure, they also say there is no appeal process, no help for this, you are just 100% crap out of luck. This is on an account that I already had and that they forced me to delete because they can't be bothered to migrate it without even the common courtesy to tell you specifically why. You know, like the scene in The Matrix when you see how the machines are using people as living batteries, it's like that. Only instead of us humans being used as batteries, it's more like we're hamburger to be chewed on. So I already knew Facebook despises its users from dealing with people getting locked out of their accounts at my old job. They would end up calling me at the cable company because try as they may or might, they could never reach a human being at Facebook for assistance, and they were grasping for straws for any kind of help they can get. Now, don't get me wrong, based on that old job, I can only fathom how doing customer service for a social media company would be the absolute pits. It is the reason I wanted to make the Kitty Cat Cable cartoon on my other channel after all. But as a company, if your product literally is built around taking advantage and exploiting your users for insane profits, you can afford to help your cattle foster some sense of loyalty. Third bit is just quick real-life touch base. I'm 80% done college now, heading into what should hopefully be the last term so I can gain that brick of time back to dedicate to other things. What am I going to do with said college? No clue. But getting that piece of paper was one of my goals, and I guess having it is better than not having it still. I'm also still prepping to finalize my move across country, and because of that has me away from my main computer working on a backup one for the time being. Of course, it doesn't help that the world keeps throwing one stupid thing after another at us, further complicating the move. I can't recall where I heard it, but someone said they think someone managed to invent a time machine and they keep going back in time trying to redo 2020. Only each time they screw it up further instead. Like they go back the first time and now there's a new virus variant that's even more lethal. Then they go back again and now there's a stock market crash. Another attempt to fix it and now there's possibly World War III starting. Just like a never-ending stream of insanity all of us are mired in. For the main event, the fourth bid is MMN Remix Talk. User Ergturd, I guess it's pronounced. On the Celsius Man stage vid requested a progress list for this fella, which fair enough. We'll dive into that now for this part. As the last video shows, Celsius Man's stage is now done, and as the last community post shows, the public version of the game you can play from myagamer.com site should be similarly updated to that point. To start running through some numbers for where this puppy stands currently that you can mostly try live right now. Currently playable characters, 3. Mega Man, Proto Man, and Base. Mega's current arsenal, 3 busters, 3 helpers, 20 MMN weapons, 85 older weapons. Proto's current arsenal, 8 busters, 8 shields, 8 satellites. Base's current arsenal, 3 busters, 9 helpers, 18 helper weapons. Currently extra forms and vehicles, 7 of them. Jet, marine, car, fly armor, climb armor, dig armor, and ride armor. Talents, 18 for each character. 3 trees of 6 choices. Items, 2 of them. Life tanks and energy tanks. Stage power-ups, 7 types. Big and small life recharge, big and small energy recharge, big and small bolts, and extra lives. Current functional stages, 1 for Dr. Lights as the hub, 1 intro stage, 13 Robot Master stages. Current functional mid-bosses, clocking in at 11. Rhino Tank, Astyanax, Donkey Kong, Contra Fortress, Guitar Hero, Emperor Fossil, Stinger Snake, Sweet Tooth, Pong, Skulljet, King Wart. Current functional Robot Masters, all 20 are done. Plasma, Brick, Shark, Balloon, Punch, Nunchakus, Jet, Shaman, Otaku, Arsenal, Circuitry, Pro Action Football, Celsius, Mirror, Sandstorm, Dramatic Introduction, Warlock, Stealth, Striders, and Psycho Man. Sadly, 7 of them aren't accessible now without their stages, but as shown in prior vids, they are done. Current little baddies, approximately 50-ish. Current sound effects, approximately 140-ish. Current music setup, 108 songs. File size, approximately 38-ish MB. Remember, this was originally targeted for a browser flash game, but later it swelled up some. So what's left to do then? Characters, Woman still needs to be finished with her graphics, 24 attacks, helpers, and talents. Haven't closed the door on adding more as they are fairly easy outside of graphics, but for now, just Woman I definitely want. Dr. Light stage, gotta finish fleshing out the city section and giving a more consistent look to it. Robot Master stages, 7 of them still need finishing. Last stages, 10 need to be done in the new engine. These will probably be smaller than the Robot Master stages, but each section longer and harsher individually. Mid-bosses, not sure on how many, but feel like there should be at least a couple new ones for the last sets of stages. Last bosses, approximately 13 need to be brought up into the new engine. Number could change depending on how I ultimately want to do a few things used for like Mega's extra 2 busters. Systems, save load feature, Mega's virus setup, Mega's mission setup, story cutscene elements to progress game. I also really want to try and make it work with a game controller. Difficulty, I'm also pondering if there should be a larger difference between difficulties, like maybe on the easiest setting you get to be max level out of the gate. Food for thought at least. So looking to the future with Celsius Man stage and the public version update done, going to swivel back to getting MMXN finished off for the next game making goal. Not sure how much of a fight that'll put up getting those last 2 bosses made, but here's to hoping. Of course, I'll also be trying to get a cartoon or 2 done for my channels in between working on the game, college, and figuring out this cross-country moves timing. If you made it this far, thanks for hearing me out. If you like the stuff talked about in here, of course do the things to appease the algorithm of Saint YouTube. If you really, really like the cartoons bits, you can help me out on Patreon. A big thanks to those already doing so. And that's a wrap. Take care and be safe out there.